What's up? I'm Dan Fredenberg, and this is another Chance Encounter.
Hey, what's up? I'm Dan Fredenberg. I'm a commercial real estate guy. I'm from the internet. We're seeing more properties like this being built in front of a house that's going to be torn down soon.
I understand that there are power lines that are just kind of close.
What's up again? This is Dan Fredenberg, and that there is a commercial real estate building.
I'm joined today with my brand new friend of the name Stallion, which is totally awesome. Johnny Stallion, how you doing today?
Wonderful, wonderful. How you doing?
I'm good, and I'm especially excited because today I have my very favorite audience member, and my very favorite audience member is here because this is a chance encounter where I interview commercial real estate syndicators, investors, and operators. And why am I doing that? Well, part of it is because it's the law. You are not allowed to really do business with other investors unless you know what their situation is all about, and realistically, it's not going to happen anyway unless you're sure there's overlap. So that's what we're finding out. But before we get too excited about that, Johnny, do you want to introduce yourself a little bit?
Sure. My name is Johnny Stallion. I've been in the real estate space for approximately 3 years now, mostly in the single family space, now going into the multifamily space.
All right, beautiful. And so I'm going to ask you about the motivations that you have first, but I need you to quickly, but wait, check your eight. It's kind of down there. Have they got a red subscribe button, or is it gray? Because it should be gray. Like, can you see it? It's under your.
It's gray.
It's great.
I think
Oh,
it's gray.
good. Because you like that. Otherwise, that'd just be awkward, right? All right, but let's get on to the motivations. I always go through the motivations with my guests because it really tells me where they are in their arc as far as why they're doing this, and that's what makes these five different motivations distinct. The first one is that some people are out to preserve their purchasing power, and what that's all about is it means that they already have a nest egg or a portfolio of assets that make them money, and so what they're concerned about is when inflation eats away at the purchasing power of that cash flow, they need to make new acquisitions using their balance sheet to basically get more cash flow going. And so that's why some people are making these big commercial acquisitions, but that's not really what I'm up to. What I'm up to is because I got a tech background. I've owned a CRM agency helping online businesses for over 12 years now. And and so coming from that background, especially because I did it a contract thing for 6 years with one real estate firm in Ohio, and the problem with being a high earner is you're paying more in tax than anybody else. So it hit me. It's like, well, how do I pivot to get a better deal, pay less tax, and basically allocate that money into deployed equity instead of paying tax on it first. So that's what I'm up to. Now, the other reason, it's a super frequent reason why people get into this, is because they want to fast track retirement. Quite frankly, the way things are going right now, I don't see people even leaving the door open for retirement unless they have assets that are holding their value to inflation. But some people, it's more about controlling their time, so maybe they want to work fewer months per year, maybe it's fewer weeks per month, maybe it's fewer hours per week, but that's what they're really up to. Whereas the next two groups, they're not looking for take it easy time. Like the ones that are so ambitious, they want to buy their entire hometown. They're after that generational wealth. They want to make sure that their great grandchildren never have to hold a day job. So they're going to be hustling into their 90s. That's these ambitious ones right here. But the last one, they're also not going to be taking breaks because they're inspired. They've picked a sector of society, or maybe it's the environment or animals or sending people to space. Who knows what it is? But they realize that you need to work on your nest egg if you're going to have a really big disproportionate impact on that sector that you really want to help. So of those five, Johnny, which of them, what combination of them really describes you best?
So probably let's see the second one again.
Yeah. So the second one, that was the time for wealth people. So they're basically skipping a
Yes,
step, and that's what they're trying to do. Is they're trying to get that equity put away and make that part of their working strategy.
100%. That's where I am right there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and my time is very valuable, as you know, everyone's time is. But you know, it's very important to me, and that's my focus is to take back my time.
I love it. I love it. All right, cool. So then the next question I have is the tolerance for risk assessment, and then we get to get rid of this PowerPoint here, this slide deck. I'm dating myself. I'm not quite as young as I look. So tolerance for risk. It's a fill in the blank question. I always have fun with this one. There are many popular investment asset classes, but I think blank is too risky. What do you think?
Uh, what is to it? I would say single family is too risky.
Okay, and what's too risky about it? I know what I like. I had that background working for a single family firm that was flipping 10 houses a month, and I didn't pull the trigger. So I definitely see what you mean, but I'd love to hear, a little.
Just what I've been in this thing for 3 years, but I've prior to the Great Recession, I was also investing as well, uh,
Okay.
mostly in the wholesale space. Um, so I say that because so many it's one single asset, right? Versus multifamily, you have multiple units under one roof.
Yeah.
Um, and if you have you're spread out, you have 10 houses, all single family, is just a lot of overhead.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Uh,
Yeah, the scalability, it's just not there.
no,
It's funny because actually the next segment here, and it's actually more for your benefit than it is for my guest for sure. It's the Dan Does Deals commercial roll die, where I go through the 6 different roles in a commercial deal, and it's that local piece that I'll go over in a second. That's the
mhm,
piece that was missing for me to pull the trigger. In single family, you
yeah,
have to have that local advantage. Otherwise
100%.
you're relying, you're so bottlenecked and dependent on some people. It's tough. But let's go through this. And again, you can go to dandoesdeals.com and you can download and print out your own copy of this. And I'm a big dummy, so I don't even ask for your email address. Okay. So you just go there and you print it out. And the reason is because I actually want you showing this to your friends and family. I want you practicing and understanding, okay, it's a 6-sided die, so there's only 6 rolls here, but let's go through them just to make sure we're crystal clear. So the first side of the die is the repositioner. The repositioner looks at a bunch of different properties and does a bunch of different paperwork. And there's one thing that they're really responsible for more than anything else. There's a fancy word for it. It's underwriting. It means doing the math. It's doing the arithmetic. So first of all, since they're acquisitions people, they're talking to sellers. They're saying, hey, sell me your building, basically, or talking to ones who already have put there on the market. So why are they underwriting? What are they doing when they're underwriting? First, they need to find out, is this business even making as much money as this person claims it is? Okay. And then it's called repositioning because they're thinking of, how do I change this property to find more upside? Now, there are 3 main tools in their tool belt to find upside. One is more advantageous lending. You find better financiers for better lending terms. So that's one way. That's not for everybody. It's only going to be for more established people. The one that they're definitely going to be taking their looks out is like, how do we get these Benjamins from stop going down these toilets? Okay.
Mm,
the operations sides, finding those efficiencies, cutting those expenses. But there's more to it than just that. And one operations piece that I've been contributing to sponsorship teams is the marketing piece, like the leasing agent, which means that you have to make sure that the vacancy rate is super duper low. But me being an automator and computer, developer, web developer stuff, that's the stuff that I get to contribute. But honestly, that's not going to be enough for most deals. Pretty often they have to do a value add by getting a contractor team. You get some people in there fixing up the units, and then that way the new tenants will be happy to pay more than the old tenants. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
But one thing you're going to run into is if the repositioner is like me and they are from the internet, they need that local who can be there in an hour or two. Because if I have to go there in 2 hours, I'm going to be at the airport. Okay. And who knows from there. But that's normally what people think of as the ownership team. The financiers are very much parts of the ownership teams here, the banks, the different types of lenders and whatever. But if a repositioner shows the deal and this team to the financiers and says, hey, this property, it's going to cost tens of millions of dollars. Do you happen to have, say, tens of millions of dollars you want to lend me? And the financier will say, but hold up. Who's your KP? Okay. And sometimes in coaching programs, they kind of gloss over that part. But the sponsor KP part, it means that if you want to be eligible for the loan, then somebody in the fold has to already own a similar asset. So even if your friends and you have really, really deep pockets, if you want to get a commercial loan and therefore, get leverage, then you have to have somebody in the fold who already owns a similar asset. So if you have that though, and you have a certain amount of liquidity, and then you have a balance sheet of at least the amount of the loan among these different partners, then you've got a commercial real estate deal. So Johnny, as far as core competencies or what you're really looking to contribute to your next deal, what is it that you do?
What is it I do?
Yeah. Which of those are really like things that you contribute? And keep in mind that if you're, I didn't really say much about the financier, but like anybody who deals purely in paper and money, then that's a form of financier. So investor relationships would also be a financier, but you can't be on the GP team unless you actually have some other role as well. So if you're like a local, then mentioning that is good too.
So yeah, I'll go with local, but GP is more where I want to lean more towards the
Okay.
GP situation. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, the KP part is where you're going, but you'll be local as part of the GP. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
And then as far as the property goes, the next thing is finding out what's ideal. So if somebody in the audience has something, they want to know if it's perfect for you or not, and then they'll reach out to you. So when commercial investors are talking to each other, they say, what's your buy box, what's your ideal property, something like that. They'll have three main things that they're actually asking for. First one is geography. Okay, where is the property? Okay, what state, what counties, what neighborhoods? Okay, it's all going to count. Okay. Second thing is the size of the deal. Unit count is what we usually go off of in multifamily. There are other forms of commercial real estate. Some of them use square footage, but unit count is the one that we generally talk about because different types of players are going to be involved in different size deals. So we need to know that. And then the third one is class, but unfortunately they use that same word for two different things and we mean both of them. So the first one is what's the condition of the building? Okay. Is it old? Is it beat up? Is it up to date, but no frills? Is it luxurious and brand spanking new? Okay. That's one version of class. The other version of class has to do with where the property is located, as far as like what's the crime rate in that area, how good are the school districts in that area. Okay. And so both of those are the meanings of class, and both of those are given letter grades like in grade school. So it'll be like A plus, A minus, B plus, C, and so on. So Johnny, as far as properties where it's easier for you to say yes, it's more difficult for you to say no, what you looking for?
C class, definitely C class. There's some value add there.
Mm-hmm.
Some good repositioning, obviously. But yeah, I like the the stuff that needs to be, worked on. Maybe some tired landlords, management, stuff like that.
Mhm.
That's what I look more towards.
Okay.
There's more opportunity.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That makes lots of sense. What about the geography part? Like, where would you really prefer people bring you deals from?
I would say same C-class areas.
Yeah.
Um,
I mean, like, which states? Which?
Markets. Uh, right now, Texas,
Okay.
please, Texas, Florida,
Mhm.
um, Georgia,
Mhm. Okay.
and yeah, that's about it for right now. That's just those
Okay.
three markets for right now.
Okay, beautiful. And then the next thing, it has to do with who you help. And one of the things that I love about commercial real estate is because, you got these 6 distinct roles. You've got these other, peripheral services and vendors that everybody ends up working with. But because it's multifaceted, we're all better suited to help some people more than others. Me personally, because of my marketing and my digital CRM background, all that kind of fun stuff, I'm always on the lookout for more sponsor KPs, because if I'm going to be helping you out, then I'm more fuel for the fire as opposed to just another grunt. Okay. Which when you're first starting, that's all you need. You need grunts. You need grunts of the first order who are willing to just burn and burn and burn and burn. And I'm more of the scaling side of things. So that's who I'm looking for. Johnny, if you've got any 506B deals on, make sure you don't entice investors. So if you have any donuts on your thing, don't waggle them in front of the can. That's very enticing. But no, seriously though, what it means is you can't entice investors. You can't say, hey, I have this deal right now if it's a 506B, because you're not allowed to publicly solicit. But as far as who you're looking for, who you're best suited to help, is it beginners, people who are already established, people on the die? Who are you best suited to help?
Um, I would say beginners.
Okay.
All right. It's a lot to learn in this industry,
Mhm.
especially in a multifamily space, a little bit more complex deals than single family.
Mhm.
But yeah, definitely beginners.
Awesome.
So,
So then the next question, we met through a meetup. Everybody can always find me through LinkedIn. That's where I spend most of my focus. What's the best way to reach you? Is it through LinkedIn, or is there a website or something better?
email is probably better.
Okay.
So I'm at Johnny Stallion at focalcityinvests.com. I'm always good with responding back to emails.
Okay. And you want to spell out that last part, the .com?
Sure. It's Focal City, FOCALCITY, invests, INVESTS.com.
Okay, beautiful. And so the last thing then, it's actually not for you, it's actually for you in the audience. We were talking about that there might be a red button. Like, really, you got to get rid of these red buttons. If somebody walks by, sees your screen, and the button's red, they'll be like, really? And I thought I knew you. Okay. And it's easy to get rid of that red button. You just click on it and it turns gray. It costs you nothing. Okay. And all it does is it means that YouTube might actually start paying for these videos instead of me. Like, that's cool, right? But
Yeah.
no, seriously though, all it means is my videos might show up on your list of suggestions, but you can go ahead and ignore those. I
Awesome.
appreciate you spending the time with me. Just like
Thank
John, I
you.
appreciate you joining me today. This has been fantastic, getting to know you a little bit better.
You too as well. Thank you so much.
Awesome. Make sure you 506B me. Any syndicators, make sure you 506B me.
Hi.
Oh, hey, yeah, here's my code. You got your QR code scanner? Okay, yeah, oh yeah, just hold it right in the square there. Okay, cool. And now you hit open in browser.
Okay.
Okay, are you already logged into 506B me?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, cool. Yeah, so there's my video. So now I'm already on your watch list. So when you get back to your hotel, you can find out what my core competencies are and my level of sophistication. Sound good?
Yeah.
I love your hat. Real estate's a scam. That's really funny.
Yes.
Nice meeting you.
You too.
506B me, everybody.